Welcome back to Audit the Court. Today we witness two completely different extremes in self-representation, offering crucial and stark lessons on the importance of preparation and courtroom discipline. Case Mode: Sidney Steele, the triumph of acuity. Our first defendant, Sidney Steele, faced traffic violation charges. What might seem like a minor case became a perfect demonstration of how a pro se defendant can successfully control the narrative. Officer testimony and vulnerabilities exposed. Following the testimony of Lieutenant Jonathan Carey, Miss Steele entered her cross-examination with surprising composure. She focused on exposing key inconsistencies. Miss Steele, you stated that you observed me through your rearview mirror. May I ask, how exactly were you able to determine the distance between my car and the car ahead if you were only viewing them in reverse? When the officer insisted he could see, Miss Steele pressed further. Miss Steele, you estimated I was less than a car length away. Do you recall the type or color of the vehicle I was following? Lieutenant Carey, hesitantly, no, I am not sure. This admission of uncertainty, coupled with him later changing his testimony about using a side mirror, immediately sowed the seeds of doubt regarding his observational reliability. The decisive counter-testimony. The climax arrived when Miss Steele took the stand. She didn't just deny the accusation. She shifted the burden of guilt, turning herself from the accused into the victim. Miss Steele, I was 6 months pregnant. I state firmly. I stopped at the red light directly behind the officer's vehicle, with no one else in front. I only made multiple lane changes because he was following me too closely, violating the very safety rule he cited. Furthermore, my new Chevy Trax would have jerked me back into my lane if I had changed lanes without using my signal. The verdict. Miss Steele's calm, logical, and detailed testimony prevailed over the vague accusation. Judge Hayward. Testimony was submitted under oath by each person. The court is not able to place greater weight on one over the other. Therefore, the court is unable to determine beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed an offense. I find you not guilty on both offenses. This was a resounding victory. Ms. Steele not only defended herself but educated the officer on the need for detailed recollection. Case High. Trevor Mloud, the jurisdictional disaster. In stark contrast, Trevor Mloud, facing serious felony charges including obstructing a conservation officer, turned his hearing into a political confrontation rather than a practical defense. The procedural blockade. From the outset, Mr. Mloud stonewalled Judge Gocha, refusing to engage in the necessary legal procedure. Judge Gocha, Mr. Mloud, I must ensure you understand you could face a maximum penalty of 3 years in prison for this felony. Mr. Mloud, I don't understand the nature and cause of the action against me. I need you to establish where this court's jurisdiction is. Statutory jurisdiction does not exist under the Constitution. The judge patiently explained the court's valid subject matter and personal jurisdiction under the Michigan Constitution. Mr. Mloud remained adamant. Judge Gocha, I did address it and I denied your objection. I have jurisdiction, Mr. Mloud. If you don't answer, I will revoke your right to represent yourself, as I cannot establish that you are making a knowing decision. The bitter end. When the judge's patience ran out, he issued an ultimatum. Judge Gocha, Mr. Mloud, this is your last chance. You are either going to answer my question or I'm going to hold you summarily in contempt of court and commit you to a jail cell. Mr. Mloud, I don't understand the charges. Judge Gocha, Mr. Mloud is held in contempt and sentenced to 1 day in jail. The consequence? Mr. Mloud lost his right to self-representation due to disruptive conduct, eventually pleaded guilty, and served time. The defining lesson. These two hearings draw a clear line. Sidney Steele proved that meticulous preparation and respect for the court's procedure are the pro se litigant's most powerful weapons. Conversely, Trevor Mloud showed that obsessively pursuing baseless anti-jurisdictional theories leads only to disastrous failure and punishment, right in the courtroom. If you choose to represent yourself, you must respect the rules of the game, otherwise, you will quickly be removed from play.